because real estate agents have the easiest job on the planet and they get paid the most, right? You know, just because you make a lot of money doesn't mean you don't have money problems. On my coaching calls, I will open up our bank account live. I will open up our cash flow budget live. Whether you use me or you don't use me, it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure that you're okay getting from A to B. And when you know that you're selling that next $800,000 house, you know what you're doing with that 20 grand. Safety and trust are like two of my biggest, you know, they're not necessarily core values of mine, but they're a core value inside of the wealth department. At the beginning, nobody knew who I was. So it was all, you know, my only business card was somebody else's success. I've had conversations with people and they're locked in their bedroom because of this. Like, it's the only place they can get away to feel safe to talk about money.
What's up, everybody? Grant Wise here. Welcome back to the Partner Profit Podcast. Very excited for my guest today. Somebody I've followed for a couple of years and excited for him to add value to the conversation that we've been having. Matt Plumer. How's it going, brother?
Hey man, it's great to see you. Great to hear from you. We've been following each other for a long time. And I'm glad we were able to finally connect.
100%, man. So for people that are listening to this that maybe don't know who you are, let's give them a little bit of the background. How'd you get to where you are today?
I'm a financial coach for real estate agents, helping them build a healthy relationship between business and personal finances that empowers them and gives them confidence to build stress-free wealth, to go make those types of decisions. It was a long road of just block and tackle for a really long time. You know, I was always in the sales and marketing environment and area, but I never had my own thing. It was always for somebody else. And so when I got exposed to the world of real estate, after coming off of a significant financial transformation and physical transformation, where I lost 100 pounds and my wife and I paid off $500,000 worth of debt in less than 5 years and became sober and all of those things, I knew I needed to go make more money. And I got exposed to the world of real estate because real estate agents have the easiest job on the planet and they get paid the most, right? And so I was like, this is got to be easy if this person can do it. And so I had my first check. I went around the office and I said, hey, what do you do with business money? I knew what to do with personal money. We just went through Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University and we paid off all this debt. I knew what to do once I got paid personally, but I didn't know what to do with it business-wise. And I invited and I asked a bunch of people to lunch and asked them what they did. And Grant, I didn't hear hire a coach, create a marketing system, build your email list. I didn't hear all of those things. I heard pay last year's taxes and next month's car note. And I'm like, I just got off of this rat race of getting out of debt. And now all of these agents that I'm around are selling a lot of houses. They're making a ton of money, but they're on the same treadmill I was on. Yeah. How can I help them get off of this transaction treadmill so they can go do the things that they want to do? Because it's sure as heck not go take 40 listings a year until the day they die. Mm-hmm. And so I made a decision that day that I would still sell real estate because we need money. But I was like, my client is going to be the agent, not the buyer or the seller. And fast track, the next 3-4 years, had thousands of conversations. I built an online coaching company. My wife and I started having conversations of like, hey, why do we live where we live? And if we could live anywhere, where would it be? That really helped stream us or catapult us to saying, hey, this is what we like. This is what we don't like. We want 300 days of sunshine, no state taxes, outdoor quality of life. And I was like, well, that's called Las Vegas or Phoenix. And so the only way I could do it is if I got off of location income and got location independent income, which was just like what we're doing right now. And I helped a lot of people go from A to B and get out of debt, start saving, implement profit first in their real estate business. That helped start to get them off the transaction treadmill. That's grown into a one-on-one business, what's turned into a wealth department, a bookkeeping business, a group program. And so yeah, that's how we're sitting here today having a conversation.
Man, that's awesome. What a good story. Now I have to ask, because I got kind of distracted by this as you were talking. Is that your Christmas tree that I see in the reflection of the...
It is a Christmas tree in our house the last week of January. Now, Grant, I mean, Christmas is, it's 25, it's 30 days. Yeah. But yeah, it's actually on the calendar Sunday to come down.
I love it, dude. My family, like they're pretty opposed to taking their tree down quickly. I usually get mine down pretty fast, but I've got some that will keep it up. I had my mom, I think it was like 2 years ago, so I'm not taking it down. She just kept it up.
Our Christmas decorations have been up an extended period of time. So and again, there's a principle to this. My wife's birthday's the week of Thanksgiving. One of her goals is to go on an international trip every year for her birthday. And it actually helped, by knowing that about my wife, it helped actually us create a principle that I coach people to, which is adding age to money. And so, so for her, she wants to come home from that trip with the Christmas decorations up.
Well, that's good.
And so she needs that. We put the Christmas tree up, generally 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, because our anniversary is the first part of November. So there's this very short period of time that we can get all of our Christmas decorations up, and it's extremely early. And we've had a lot of life and things happen in the month of January, so they're still up.
Of course, you're all busy, like 100%.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
So getting back to, just like the evolution of your business. We talk obviously about growing your business through partnerships, relationships. I know that's a pretty significant part of your story. You don't grow a business like you have, like you said, you have had thousands of conversations. Just like kind of walk us through, like, how have you grown the business specifically? How have relationships or partnerships helped you drive the growth to get where you are today?
First thing is contribution. Without contribution, you don't have anything. And when I had my first coach, I'm also a connector, right? I love connecting people. I know when you and I first had our conversation a month ago, I was like, you need to talk to this person, this person, this person. Group text introduction that afternoon. That like brings me energy. I believe that if you you create the right relationships and you protect your energy, finances take care of themselves. And so it was all about contribution. How can I help you, the real estate agent, with zero strings attached, in the thing that's causing the most amount of smoke in your life? And, generally that's around a budget or a spouse conversation. And I just had these over and over and over and over very quickly, because people, they liked me, they trust me. I'm an open book, right? When it comes to my own transformation. I think that's why people do it, is because on my coaching calls, I will open up our bank account live. I will open up our cash flow budget live. I will open up our net worth tracker live. And so I'm literally a piece of glass. Like, it's just internal. And so that's always helped me, not only with my coaching clients, but also building those relationships online is like, hey, whether you use me or you don't use me, it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure that you're okay getting from A to B. And when you know that you're selling that next $800,000 house, you know what you're doing with that 20 grand. Mm-hmm. And I just have a unique way of, warming, just having the conversation to where there's no judgment. I think that's another thing, is come from contribution and no, curiosity, not judgment. And that's led to, people accepting the friend request when, it's some weird dude sliding into your DMs to say, hey, I heard you, or I met you here. I do want you to win. Have a nice day. That kind of things. That's genuine. That's not just me trying to get a lead or anything. Yeah. It's just a conversation. And then from there, it generally will lead to, 80% of the United States is overweight, and 80% of the United States are living paycheck to paycheck. And so there's a really good chance that somewhere in my story, I've been a mess to be a message to you, and I can probably help you, whether it's a dollar exchange or not.
Love it. I would imagine that level of vulnerability leads to an enormous amount of trust. So you've got people that are just referring you left and right.
Yes. Safety and trust are two of my biggest, they're not necessarily core values of mine, but they're a core value inside of the wealth department, which is my group coaching program. Mm-hmm. Is it is a safe place for people to be open and honest, and maybe for the very first time around their finances.
Yeah.
Never in my life would I think that I would have a group of dozens of people coming every single week and opening up their just literally opening up their hood and saying, hey, mm-hmm. I've got this much coming in, or I don't have any coming in, and I have this amount of money. How do I make it last 45 days until my next closing? And we have those conversations every single week.
Wow.
And then on the one-on-one conversations, there's tears every week. There's spousal conversations that we're having every single week. I've had conversations with people and they're locked in their bedroom because of this. It's the only place they can get away to feel safe to talk about money. And never did I think I would have a calendar filled with people that would just be completely open and honest with someone. And that's something I have to get to inside of the coaching conversation. But it's once I hit the nerve or whatever, it's pretty easy to have those conversations.
This is fascinating because you're kind of in a niche that like nobody wants to talk about. It's like, if you're having money problems, I don't want anybody to know I'm having money problems. Or if I'm having trouble, going check to check in real estate, which is very common because of just like the nature of the industry. And so it's fascinating to me that there's so many people so willing to share, so willing to connect you with others, because a lot of times it's like, I don't want people to know I have money problems. I also don't want people to know I have money. So it's like something that almost nobody wants to talk about. How do you find yourself dealing with a lot of that?
Well, and here's the beauty is that everybody thinks they're the only one with money problems. Right. Until they become around people that have other money problems. And again, I don't want this to make like your listeners like the only way to, work with me or get in my world or anything or be a friend is like you're in debt or you're stuck with cash. Like I've got hundreds of people that are, millionaires that we help them get from A to B, right? Whether it's an investment or, just because you make a lot of money doesn't mean you don't have money problems. And so, and that's what I help other people understand is like, Grant, if you come into my world, I just want you to know that you have the exact same challenges that everybody else has. You just have a different zero and a different comma. So it could be 4 zeros. It could be 5 zeros. It could be 7 zeros. It could be 2 commas, or it could be no comma, right? They're the exact same problems and they're solved with the exact same standards and principles. Some people are just further down the line of time than others.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. Like we all have the same exact challenges.
All right, 100%. I can't say how many people I talk to about money. It's a big part of conversations I love having, and everybody kind of has the same advice. It's almost like every single person that I know says the same thing about getting money and keeping it. And then you get to a different level, it's like, here's how you invest it. And so it's like, I would agree, like we all kind of have the same conversation about money. Some of us just having it at different scales, different time, different problems, different challenges. So is your growth is it been mostly just find people that need me, serve them at a high level, get them to refer me? Or do you also go and try to find people that maybe have audiences of those people that you're trying to get in front of? Is it both? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So at the beginning, nobody knew who I was. So it was all, my only business card was somebody else's success, right? The results. And I had some people get fairly quick results and I helped them solve an easy problem, which sometimes it just comes down to like do a budget for the very first time. Like organize your money, set aside 30% for taxes, maybe for the very first time. And you just keep doing that over and over and over. And, I believe discipline bleeds. And so when you do like the very small basic stuff over time, right? Time on task over time will equal dramatic results. You'll share that with somebody else in your office or someone else on your team or one of your team agents or one of your people that you coach or that you run in a circle. And that kept growing. And as social media kept growing and growing and growing, it became, and I did this in, 18 and 19. And then when the pandemic hit, like everybody, it was cool to cut expenses.
Yeah.
but Dave Ramsey's been talking about it for 40 years.
Yes.
But
we
needed a pandemic to make it
a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. So we made it cool to cut. Oh, I saved this and I cut this because I don't need it because I don't go into an office anymore, or I moved to a cloud brokerage or whatever it is. I like reduce this expenses or whatever it might have been. And so I just kept doing it over and over and over until, a person that had a large team, I coached, right? And they had success. And then the person that is in, has a large organization, put me, we played golf a few times and it was like, hey, what is it that you do? And I got on their stage and then they hired me. And then like the next thing it is, I'm on more podcasts and more stages. And now I'm in bigger rooms with more influential people in the world of real estate. And so now it's still both because it is referral, but like it's more, I was just on a call this morning, like I'm speaking on this stage, and this stage, and I'm sponsoring this event and I'm coaching with this person. And so like, that's just momentum. And those people want to help their people. right?
Well,
Because
of
they know
course, yeah.
their people are challenged. So like now it's just an easy relationship conversation.
But I guess what I'm going to drive home is like, is it intentional on your part to be like, I know I want to partner with those people because they
Yeah.
have this type of audience? Because like the way you described it sounds like it was kind of just like a natural byproduct of what you did. But I'm wondering,
It,
like,
yeah, it was very natural for me. Now
yeah,
it is very intentional that,
got it.
for example, right? And again, he might even listen to this podcast, right? But John Sheplack, right? I'm like, okay, I went to a couple of John's events and I'm like, all right, I'm looking around the room and I'm like, I can solve a lot of these people's like internal thing that keeps them up at night. I can help with that, right? And so, but I don't know them. So
Right.
what's the number one way for me to get into the room? I hire Alec. I go to Alec's event, and then I hire Alec and Shannon to be my health and fitness coach. Then I lose 20 pounds, and then I go to Alec's event, and then I hire Alec, and now like it's just that's just the way that my
Yeah.
marketing, rather than spending money on advertising, I'd rather spend money on people, build a relationship with them, gain proximity, gain audience that way, and that's the marketing that I do.
I was talking to somebody yesterday who said,
So that
yes,
I get a result out of it, right?
of course.
But
Yeah.
I'm paying for proximity, but then I'm also paying for the result of me that'll lead to relationships.
Right. Yeah. And PR too, because when you join somebody's thing and you get a results, you become, a poster child for someone else's product. They start promoting you all the time. Right. And
Yep.
I was talking to somebody yesterday and he was joking. He was like, well, not everybody likes that I say this, but I buy all my friends. he kind of explained the same thing that you're talking about. I was like, well, I'm not like actually buying friends, but I am being intentional about the rooms I'm getting in and who I'm talking to and the things that I buy, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's such an important thing. One of the first masterminds I ever joined, I was really young and doing this, still kind of am, but they were like, I don't think everybody realizes like if all of the people that you want to meet, you just pay them. Like just pay them and they'll let you in the room. Like they want to meet you too. There just might be like a little wall between you and them, and you can get over that by joining a mastermind, investing in a product, losing weight, become a part of other people's community, and then do what you said, which is just contribute, just give, just add value. And it's really that simple. I mean, is that kind
Yeah,
of
I mean, so case in point, I moved to Las Vegas from Northern Virginia. We moved to Las Vegas to Northern Virginia in 2022, in the summer, and I play golf. If anyone follows me, there's one thing that I do every single week, and is I play golf on Fridays. Right? It's literally a brand that I've created. That's what I do on Fridays. We golf. And I played in a golf tournament. I was sitting at a table. It was at a charity tournament. I knew 0 people in the room. And I'm sitting down at a table during the dinner, and a guy sitting across the table from me, he's younger than me, and I start talking to him. And his name is Omar. And I have no idea who he is. And he says, hey, you can follow me on Instagram. Like, let's connect there. He asked me what I did. I told him what I did. I coach real estate agents. And he was like, I said, what do you do? And he's like, I help the online entrepreneur build an online audience and create brand and help them communicate it to their thing. I'm like, cool. His name's Omar El Takori. And if you know anything about Think Media YouTube and Think Media and their YouTube channel, he's the Omar. And I had no idea who Think Media was, and they have 2.5 million subscribers. So we started a relationship, and he came over and helped me get my very first little camera over here and introduced me to Riverside and all of the things. And then he started a coaching program. I was like, dude, you've helped me out so much. How much is it? And it was like $2,000. And I was like, in. Right. And I don't even know if I ever attended one thing, but I wanted to support Omar
Right.
because of how hard I knew he was working. Well, 2 years later, I built a business, one-on-one coaching. It's very good, but I'm married to my calendar, right? I am glued to my calendar, and I'm like, hey, Omar, and we've talked, right? We played golf a couple of times, but again, I'm not in his inner circle. I'm just like another guy. And so I asked him, what was it like to be in your program? He sent me a screenshot of one of the other people that had success in his program. And I was like, I'm in. $15,000, right? And so, but again, helped me go build an online community, helped me go build a group program, helped me build a masterclass to challenge funnel process that has helped me triple that amount or quadruple that amount, right? Just in a very short period of time. And so when the renewal came up, I was like, I'm in. Like, it's just, and it's not to buy friends, but now, like, every time I text him, he responds. Every time I have do this, he responds. Every time, like, because I'm still part of his community. Hey, man, let's go play golf. All right, I got it. So it's like, it's just a different, the conversation goes from here to here to here.
Yeah, 100%.
When you pay for access and community. And I think ultimately, and I have found this, that especially now in the real estate community, you have all of the cloud-based brokerages that have, you can build a large organization. I truly believe that is changing relationships at the highest of levels for the right reasons, because you can build a relationship with so many people and have so many things in common, because there's now this common thread of being in business and revenue share. I think it is so brilliant that some of my best friends came into and out of my world because I had built one of those organizations over the last 3, 4, 5 years. And I just think it's an easy way to build relationships and give back from contribution, whether it's paying for access or joining somebody at their brokerage. I think it's just an easy way to build relationships, and then also to go make more money when you're in alignment with the right people.
Man, I love it. Let's put a bow on this for people that are kind of like just getting into the partnership space or the relationship space, and really, for so many years, the idea it's been really popular to spend a lot of money on Facebook ads or Google ads or this or that or the other thing. And I think people have kind of avoided or ignored the easy and obvious relationship hacks that exist to grow a business. So like, let's just sit here and, kind of imagine somebody, maybe he's not new in business, but new to this idea. It's like, okay, I'm just going to focus on really great relationships and partnerships.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them to go off and have some, success sooner rather than later?
Look through the board, not at the board. I think at the board is like, when we look down the line of time, we can only see so far based on all of the filters that we have. And obviously right now in America's, there are some hot things that are happening in the United States right now. And that is causing people to have a shorter view of time than longer view, right? Because they can only see what's happening on their 5-inch screen, and there's a fire going on, right? And on that screen, right? And so look through that and go out to where you want to go, and then look back and connect the dots along and look backwards, right? Steve Jobs said it, is that you have to go out, turn around, look back, and connect the dots to actually go get the thing that you actually want. And so what I would encourage people to do is go out to where you want, right? I call it create your Oz. Go out to Oz and then look back and then draw your yellow brick road. And as I went out, or you go out, and I said, hey, I want this type of life and this type of business, and it needs this type of money. What are the relationships that I need along the way to go get that, right? And so I look at the relationships of who's my avatar, who's my person, who can I serve, who has that audience, and let me today start to build a relationship with that person, so that 3 to 5 years or 10 years from now, I've got all of these deposits along the way, like genuine deposits, right? I mean, I care about the people that I'm in relationship, whether it's, Girls with Grit or John and Alec and Shannon. Like, I care about them and their businesses and their lives. That's helping me, and Omar, right? And obviously anyone else that I'm in relationship with, the people that are in my inner circle, that those are the most powerful relationships on planet Earth. And that if I just go serve the person in front of me with no agenda, I know at 100% out of 100% that I will get everything that I want. That if I just go serve Grant and his audience with zero agenda, there's going to be somebody that listens to this that reaches out and says, hey, what's it look like to work with you at X, Y, or Z? Because my wife and I are, we're always like beating or going against each other when it comes to personal finances. And we make way too much money for that to happen. Because I serve you guys at the highest level, and I'll give it all away because I know that there's people out there that I can help, and it has nothing to do with money. It might be, it might be golf, or it might be a physical transformation. It might be something else, but I just absolutely love serving people with zero agenda, because I know that, contribution will always trump everything else.
It's been a common theme. I've done a lot of these interviews now and had a lot of these conversations, talking about partnerships and relationships, and the number one central theme in every single conversation is just focus on giving, focused on contribution, focused on serving other people, and somehow, a little facetious here, but somehow not so miraculously, your business is just going to grow and take off. And so, man, this is such a good conversation. In the spirit of contribution, I always like to ask this question: is how, as we, as listeners of the Partner Profit Podcast, how can we partner with you and walk alongside you and help you grow? What's important to you right now?
So there's two things. Well, there's actually only one thing, and that is just eyeballs, right? So everybody see attention is the most valuable currency on the planet, and I don't ask for anyone's just only scroll my reels and death scroll them forever. But connect on social, right? I think that's the easiest thing, is just connect on social. Say, hey, I heard you on Grant's podcast. I just want to follow along. And that's the number one, that's the thing that brings me the most amount of joy on the front end of the conversation. And then on the back end, whether we actually ever talk or not, I will tell you this, the thing that fuels me and makes me get emotional and makes me feel good is when the person sends me a message that I've never spoken to and says, because I listened to you, I did a budget and my wife and I went on a walk. And the next thing is we paid off $25,000 worth of debt because we did this and this. And I just wanted to say thank you. And that thing makes me warm up the most. Whether I talk to them ever or not, that I drop enough breadcrumbs that they are able to pick them up and go create their own financial transformation.
I love it. Well, we'll make sure that we link up the ways that people can connect with you.
Yeah, social's the best. Facebook and Instagram are by far the best two for us to connect on.
We'll definitely do that. We'll definitely make sure that we do that, guys. Listen, if you're listening to this show right now, let's make sure that we follow Matt, connect with him, watch his content, and if any of what he's talking about is speaking to you on the financial side, definitely reach out, have a conversation. And he's a great guy, and is more than happy to give whatever time and attention that he can to help you. So Matt, I appreciate you. Appreciate the conversation today, man. It was awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you guys for continuing to listen to the Partner Profit Podcast. What an amazing conversation. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.